Alrighty, I think we're live here. Let's just double check here. I think we should be fine. Let's pop out chat. Alright, got that. Now let's take a look. We are live. Fabulous. Let us say pick our chat here. Make sure that that's on top. Awesome sauce. Actually, you know what? Let's reduce the size of this. Yeah, there we go. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our stream here playing Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. Tonight we're trying to hope to get through Act 5 Nightmare, kill Baal, and proceed onward to our quest to getting a cruel Colossus blade of Quickness. So just a quick FYI to everybody, I went ahead and leveled up one of my barbarian mules and I equipped a bunch of the low-level gear on him, which was really nice. It freed up a bunch of space. I was actually able to, if we come over here to my stash, look at that space. So we have some space. That's really great. The other thing is that in the off time, I went ahead and switched out my mercenary's weapon. Instead of having the what was it, malice on the superior Volge, I went ahead and created a strength with this superior halberd, which is really nice, really great. Happy about that. Does a lot more damage. So there's that. And then the other thing is I went ahead and transferred a perfect diamond and some runes over here. I think I'm going to actually upgrade my chain gloves, because I don't have anything better. And I think if I'm going to keep some of this magic finding gear, I think that would be best. You know, I kind of screwed up here. I actually transferred over those magic find boots, and I totally didn't mean to. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and put our chain gloves in with the Tal rune, the P diamond, and a shale. Wait, what? Shale. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to work. Hang on, let's double check. I'm going to take a look at my guide here. It should have the... So, Tal, Shale, Perfect Diamond, Normal Unique Armor to Exceptional Version of Armor. Oh, it's unique. Dumbass. Yeah, I did it wrong. We got Rare. Let's see here. Unique. I need a Perfect Sapphire... Or no, excuse me, a Ral rune, a Thul rune, and a perfect amethyst. Ah, son of a bitch. Bummer, dude. Okay, so we're not going to do that today. I was going to upgrade my gloves, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. Wah, wah, wah. I was totally looking at the wrong thing. We're not upgrading unique items. We're upgrading rare items. And that was the problem. Not a big deal. It's not like throwing a huge wrench in my plans. So if we go ahead and take a look at our quests... Still have to do this whole Nihilthac thing, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save that for later. If we come over here to the waypoints, I still need to actually get the Hells of Pain. Again, I'm not really worried about it. I think right now I'm going to concentrate on actually getting up and defeating the Ancients. So let's go ahead and proceed. We're going to go back to the Frozen Tundra. This is a really annoying spot. And then after that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't take us directly to the Ancients. I think we actually have to go through like a cave system to do it. So that's what we're going to do. Looks like we're going to get hosed here, fighting a bunch of bone archers and whatnot. Because it seems like every time we reload this campaign, we get a different set of wacky-ass monsters, because it's Nightmare. And for whatever reason, Blizzard deigned that this is the way Act 5 Nightmare was supposed to play. Okay. I already see my mercenary here doing a hell of a lot more damage, which is great. Alright, let's move up a little bit, respawn our guys, so we can start doing some actual damage here. I hate it when they get bottlenecked like that. I think I saw a unique monster around here. Some of my mages are out of position and get pretty messed up. Also my skeletons too, Jesus. I think tonight we're also going to look at maxing out our summon skeleton, so we can finally actually and get our 10th skeleton. So here, go ahead and pop that super mana potion. Oh, I thought I just heard. There we go. Let's get them gems. Although I guess, you know, there could be the case that being made of actually pumping up Skeletal Mage. Just simply for the... Let's see here, if we go to my tree here. So if I pumped up another skill into this, it's not going to actually give me another one, so I think we'll just stay our course. I think I'll max out the regular skeletons. I mean, honestly, they're the ones doing all the damage. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. We already got the waypoint, so we don't really need to dick around with this area too much. I will take my time killing the monsters, because we really don't want to be sloppy. We are playing hardcore. And these areas can be fairly treacherous because of all these bottlenecks and whatnot. And the catapults. Can't forget about them. Ah, this feels good. I feel like I'm in my element right now. I'm in yearning to play this game. Been doing some pretty good work in my Guild Wars 1 campaign with some of the surveying and taking care of some of the other bonus missions if you guys are actually paying attention to that series. I need to pay a little bit more attention to what I'm doing here when it comes to my application of amplified damage. God, these archers are everywhere. Alright, so we don't have a way to get up there. Let's say come up to this direction. There's the catapult. Really sucks that you can't actually curse these things. Oh yes, look at that. My Merc is already doing all that extra damage. Love it. Okay, let's replenish our skeletons. Man. I'm telling you, those skeletal mages, man, they take a fucking beating. Christ. You know, to be very honest, I really wish I could actually see the stats on my skeletons and whatnot, because I'm really curious to find out what their actual resistances are. Because as you know, when you progress into the higher difficulties, you do definitely take the I don't want to say malice, but you get this reduction in your resistances. So I'm honestly curious to find out where it's sitting at right now with its current level. So right now they're at plus 60%, but I'm not sure if that actually takes into account the difficulty. Got my lovely beverage for this evening. Although I do have to say it's a little heavy, a little thick. I'm drinking Imperial apple juice. Yuck, yuck. Not my preferred style. Oh, war boots. I think those are war travs. Ooh. I'm pretty sure those are war travs. That means those are MF boots. God damn it. I mean, that's really great. I really want some more magic find equipment, but I mean, I do have Natalia's on. All right, so that's up here is our way into the Ancients Way. But I think I'm going to stick around here and gain another level first before we actually head in there, because the Ancients can potentially be pretty awful. I know I've said this before in previous streams, man. I'm really not looking forward to hell. I mean, I am genuinely curious about how hard it's going to be for me, but I'm not looking forward to it. There are certain aspects to hell that I'm absolutely dreading, especially like the maggot layer and the arcane sanctuary. Oh. Wow, I got a nist room. Fabulous, look at that. For those that don't know, that's the best magic finding shits you can get. The best magic finding socketable, I guess you want to say. Awesome. So basically, you get the best bang for your buck when you put them into a weapon. So if I find, say, a cruel Colossus blade of quickness, with 6 open slots, and I have 6 ist runes, hell yeah. Or, you know, what else is the traditional way of doing it is actually getting an Alibaba, which is a the level 2, the exceptional version of a falchion. And here it's called a Talwar. It's the unique version of that. It always comes with 2 empty slockets, and it has the other modifiers for magic finding. Actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the magic finding percentage on Alibaba is magic find percentage based upon your level. So it just gets better over time. I'm gonna have to come back into town and actually sell some of this. I gotta pawn some of this stuff. It's a great Diablo 1 reference. I think I fucking straight up found some war traps. And I found an ist rune, man. It's one of those nights. One of those nights where I'm finding all the good stuff. Yeah, buddy. Come on, gang. Let's open up this door. Let's respawn my golem. That's one thing I do like about the golem, is that it's really easy to actually respawn him. Oh, got a boss guy here. He didn't drop anything. Yeah, unless we find something really good here, I'm gonna wait till I go back to town for when we gain a level first. Hey, where the fuck is this catapult coming from? We destroyed him all over here. And after we get through this... Ah, there we go. Alrighty. So let's go ahead actually into the Ancient's Way, and then I'll cast the TP. Alright, so what I was going to say was that I've been giving it some thought that if we actually do end up finding a Cruel Colossus Blade of Quickness, or, you know what, I would actually probably take a Cruel Colossus Sword of Quickness as well. If I find one of those, that would definitely work. I mean, I would definitely have a little bit more preferential treatment for the blade than the sword, but shit, actually, we're down a couple skeletal mages here, so I should probably get a couple of them before we actually go into the Ancients. Okay, fine. And I know as another alternative, there's also the next step down from a Colossus Sword, which is a Balrog Blade, which is the tier 3 Bastard Sword. That's certainly a possibility, but again, not really what I'm looking for. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that if we do end up finding one, I do want to continue this stream and continue our campaign and actually use the damn thing, right? I didn't spend all this time actually acquiring the thing. I mean, assuming we acquire one, to not use it. So with that being said, I've been really curious to find out what I want to use it with. And I originally said probably a barbarian, but I have to have full disclosure here. I've been playing this game on and off for many years, and I have never fully leveled up a druid. That is the one class I've never really touched. And I feel bad about that. I'd really like to actually play a druid. I played a druid up until like Nightmare, sometime mid-game or so, but I never went through Hell. I'm pretty sure I never went to Hell with a druid. And I'm thinking that would be kind of cool. But the problem is that if you're going to play a druid with a big-ass two-handed sword, it's pretty much... You're going to be playing as a skinwalker.
Good evening.
You're going to be playing with the lycanthropy. So you're either going to turn into a werebear or a werewolf. I kind of don't want to do that because that's like the usual build. I've always found it kind of to be interesting to maybe play as a elemental druid, but I'm not entirely certain how viable that is. So let's actually find the sword first, and then we'll discuss that. But I'm really leaning more heavily towards an actual druid. So what do we got here? That's actually awesome. It's got a level 13 requirement, kind of high strength. Wow. I think I'm going to keep that. Ah, Go Riders. That's not too bad. It's got 2 empty sockets, but I don't want it. I don't want that. You know, that's... I'm going to play as a druid. Jesus Christ. That's pretty fabulous. Especially as a shape-shifting druid. Looks like we can make a P topaz. So I'm going to keep this thing. Istrune. Man. I'm just still so astonished. Because I swear, man, I remember playing this game back in the day and getting those like top tier runes or even like mid-class runes were exceptionally rare. It was so damn rare to actually find them. Like you could find Soul, Shale, Amn. You could find all those runes like all day long. I mean, not really all day long, but I mean, when you're in the higher difficulties, you have a higher chance of finding those. And that's pretty much all I found. I mean, I have found an Istrune in the wild before, once upon a time, but that was a long time ago. It'd be really interesting to find out what the Countess is going to give me in Hell. So if I continually do Countess runs in Hell, which I'm probably going to do at some point. But wouldn't that be pretty sexy? Get like Zod runes, and Is runes, and Yah. All the high tier stuff. Oh, look at that. Hey. How convenient. Perfect. I love it when that happens. I suppose I didn't really need to worry about actually going back up and filling my skeletal mages, considering we still have this entire cape system we have to run through. Oh, got a boss monster here. Blight Shank. You know, if my people only concentrated on just this one monster, we'd be mowing through these guys. He's got stone skin, that's why. And unfortunately, I'm not able to do a bunch of extra damage. I'm sure if I had like corpse explosion or something right now, definitely help. Come on. So we had some champion bone mages over there. Okay. Full rejuve. I'll take that. I mean, if I want to continually to find these things out in the wild, I might as well equip them. And there we go. There's another one. So we got a whole belt full of rejuvenation potions. Pretty good. Looks like I was getting a little bit of desync there. So I've given it some thought. about other series. You know, it's like when I'm done with Guild Wars or done with XCOM 2 or my Succession series in... I think that's a sub-dungeon that only leads to a treasure, but after my other series are done, you know, I've been giving it quite a bit of consideration about what else I'm going to play, what, like a new series. And I have given a fair amount of thought about actually playing some more action RPGs because I love them. But the question is what? Which one? I'm really picky, and there's definitely some variety there that you can choose from, which is nice. I'm glad that I'm not just like pigeonholed into just choosing, you know, like 2 or 3 titles, but there's plenty of games to actually choose from. And I'm kind of tied between which games that I would rather play. So there's like Grim Dawn, there's Path of Exile, there's Sacred, there's Titan Quest, there's what was that other one? Oh shit, what was the one that was actually made by a couple of the original Diablo 2 guys? Cartoony graphics. Hey, what was the name of that game that we were playing? Huh? Torchlight. Oh yeah, Torchlight. There's Torchlight. I mean, there's the original Divine Divinity and Beyond Divinity. There's Victor Vran. Although I haven't touched that one. I don't know how that one actually plays. What I'm saying is that there's some options on our hand if we want to actually go down the action RPG route. And I don't know what to say. I'd really like to play Sacred. For those that don't know, in my opinion, for the very longest time, including to this day, I feel like if you're ever going to come into a true Diablo 2 clone, that Sacred is the best example of that. And it had a expansion pack called Sacred Gold, which added in a couple of new classes and a whole bunch of other stuff. The problem with it is the game's I really hate to say this, but it's kind of boring. It's not slow paced, but it's not as fast as Diablo 2. I mean, you hear this soundtrack and it's got like this big bombastic like orchestral music in the background right now. Sacred totally doesn't have that. It's got shitty sound effects, or like subpar sound effects. The music there is kind of almost non-existent unless you're in town. I don't know, it's an interesting game. I really enjoy it. I like it, but as far as doing an actual series out of it, I just don't think that it would be a really good viable choice. I mean, unless of course you guys, you know, leave me a comment or shoot me an email or something and say, hey man, you should totally play some Sacred Gold. We want to see that. Then I'd be definitely more motivated to actually do it. The other thing is that the original servers, the company that made it, I think went out of business or got bought out or whatever. But the servers were shut down many, many years ago. And I believe they were up and running through GameSpy for a while, if I'm not mistaken. So unfortunately, you know, it wouldn't be like playing Diablo 2 here, where we're going to be playing it online and potentially have, you know, other people join our games and whatnot. So I feel like the game is really detrimented because of it. It's in a worse place because you can't get online. You can get on people's like private servers and things, but I don't want to do that. I want like regular public servers. Oh, hey. Hey there. Amdoon. Oh, Ralroon. Hey there. Nice. And then there's Titan Quest. You know what? There's a really awesome community for Titan Quest. I discovered Titan Quest really late. As a matter of fact, I discovered Titan Quest in like 2015. I had no idea that game existed. And then when I looked into it, you know, I went ahead and bought it. It was during a Steam summer sale, I think of 2015 as a matter of fact. And I just can't play the game. If you've played Sacred before and thought it was slow-paced or boring or whatever else, Titan Quest is a goddamn snail's pace. It's a dial tone. I don't like it at all. And I do have to say that the theme of it being kind of like this fantasy, ancient, like Greco-Roman type of thing, it's just not appealing to me. It's just not my thing. It's just not for me. So Titan Quest is out. They did actually... Ooh, there we are. We can actually go into the Ancients now. You know what? Let's go. Let's go through the Ancients way a little bit more so I can continue to rant. So Titan Quest is out. They actually made a like a remake or a remaster of the game, and then they included, or they didn't include, but there is an expansion pack for it that they released, I think, last year, 2017, or maybe in 2016. I have not purchased it. I have not checked it out. It may be really that good. I don't know. I've just been really reluctant to actually play Titan Quest again. And since I'm talking about Titan Quest, I should probably talk about Grim Dawn, because Grim Dawn is, like, I'm surprised that the developers of Grim Dawn didn't get sued, because it is, like, a complete fucking ripoff of Titan Quest. Now, you could say, well, it's a different theme and blah, 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 but the skills are basically the same. The classes are pretty close. I mean, it's not an exact facsimile, but it's pretty close. And I do like Grim Dawn. I definitely think it's a lot more smooth and fluid compared to Titan Quest. But, you know, I think it still suffers from some of the same problems. Like, I'm not really a big fan of the menus and the UI of either of the games. But I would be interested in playing Grim Dawn. I did play it for a good, I don't know, maybe like 15 or 20 hours I got so far, and just kind of lost interest, never touch it again. But I have read, I think on Rock, Paper, Shotgun the other day, that they are releasing, at some point, a new expansion for the game. What is this? Max? You know, I think we may be able to actually fit that in your inventory. Awesome. So again, you know, I would be interested in playing Grim Dawn if there was actual interest for it. Let's see here, what else is there? There's Victor Vran. I have not played that game. I own it, but I haven't touched it yet. Oh yeah, and then there's Van Helsing. There's a Van Helsing action RPG that's, you know, very much in the same vein as Diablo games. I will never play Diablo 3, so don't even bother suggesting that. The game is a pile of dog shit. It's just a streamlined, mainstream, mass-marketed piece of garbage. I hate it. It's not a Diablo game. I think some people would probably suggest maybe playing Path of Exile, and I would consider it. I would definitely consider it. I've got a fair amount of criticism for that game as well, but I don't really feel like getting into it because there's a lot of nitty-gritty, and I feel like if I'm really going to do my criticism any kind of justice, I actually have to be in-game and actually show some of the things that I'm actually criticizing. You know what? Let's actually just go do the Ancients. Spent all that time in the previous stream the other week getting up to this point, and we're getting so close to actually fighting Baal. And I'm really dreading doing the Ancients, but I think it's about that time. So let's go ahead and do it. Oh.
The resting place of the Ancients.
Let's hydrate. All right.
We are the spirits of the Nephilim, the ancient ones. We have been chosen to guard sacred Mount Iron, wherein the world's stone rests.
You know what? I can't listen to that right now. We've got the shits, the lightning shrine. We should probably use it. I'm hoping they don't crush all my skeletons. Come on, please just concentrate on the one. Fuck, my mages are just getting eaten alive here. Take out Corlick, damn it. Please. Oh. No, don't die. No, he died. Ah. Fuck. I think we're gonna have to do this shit again. Yeah. I let my peon die. Like, he's absolutely integral for me killing this. So, where are you at? Qualkek.
Yes, warrior.
Yes, warrior. So first of all, let's talk to Kane. Let's empty out our inventory. I'm gonna have to go back to Act 1 and get replenish our skeletal mages. Oh, you know what? I gained another level, by the way. Okay. Put our runes in here. Alright, so where do we put our next skill point? I think it's about that time we just max this out. Let's just get it done and out of the way. 10th skeleton. There we go. So let's go pick up our 10th skeleton. As you can see, I've already explored this a little bit. Filling up my my peon army. Wanted to make sure I did that before the stream started. Yes, 10 of them. Oh, nice. Still some corpses over here. So there we go. 16 skeletons. Awesome. Okay, here we are. Let's go back. Oh, did one of them just die? That looks like it says 5, not 6. Son of a bitch. Totally did. Fucking robbed me of one. Alright, let's go talk to Mala just in case somebody here is like poisoned or something. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up another town portal. So every time you leave this place without actually killing these guys, they just go back to being statues. So what I'm gonna hope to do here is we're gonna get in a corner and just hope to lure one. Just the one. If I can get just one. So we just lost one skeletal mage. Come on, where is these? Where's this guy? Come on, give me one. There we are. Matawak. Okay, you can do that. And we're gonna stay right here. I know this is kind of gamey. My mercenary isn't even doing anything. Dude, what are you doing? Get in there. Oh, god damn it. So, here's gonna go all of my my mages. You know what sucks about that is the simple fact that there's less bodies blocking these guys. All right, come on, men. Come back. Respawn. Over here. Yeah, there we go. Damn it, I just want to get Matawak out of the way. Okay. Nice to see them all being cursed right now. So Matawak's about to go down. Finally. Yeah! Oh, I feel good about this now. Yes. So Talik is cold enchanted, Korlik is fire enchanted, and the other dude was lightning enchanted. Honestly, it's really the lightning enchanted and the cold enchanted that I'm worried about. Even though, I mean, I've got maxed out resistances here. My dude here almost does. Come on, get in there. Yeah, do that damage. Want to make sure that I have my... Oh, want to make sure that I have my my mercenary in there, because he's the biggest damage dealer of the bunch. Want to make sure I stay away from his whirlwind. Absolutely. Come on, die. Get out of it. Get out of the way. There we go. I hate that Frost Nova. And we actually gained a level from that. Pretty swell. Okay, so what do we put our skill points into? Here's my problem, is that really there's 3 skills here that I'm concerned with. Okay, there's... Let's see here. There's bone armor. I mean, that's obvious. There's raised skeletal mage, which is kind of obvious for actually maxing out. And then there's summon resist. I think we're gonna go... Shit. I think for this point in time, I think I'm gonna go with bone armor. So I can get that little bit of damage reduction.
I can't.
I want to play it safe here. I do want to actually max out Skeletal Mage. So if we take a look... We're like 12 levels away from maxing that out. That's pathetic. Alright, well... Nice to see that we're going to be able to get our skeletons back. Okay, 2 more mages. Oh. Nice. There we are. Maxed. I think actually pumping a couple of skill points into bone armor is just... It's awesome. I mean, it is definitely precautionary. But you have to keep in mind, I mean, you are going to end up taking that random hit every once in a while. And that bone armor may very well actually save your life. Always something to keep in mind. Oh, look at that. They're already dropping shakos. I think I've mentioned before in the past about how much I hate MOBAs, multiplayer online battle arenas like Dota 2 and League of Legends. Well, when I did play League of Legends, and I did play it predominantly throughout the year of 2010, I played the shit out of it. I was a pro Shaco player, man. I was really good at playing Shaco. As far as why I hate those games, they're shitty. They're awful. The community is always so toxic. They're terrible. The matchmaking services suck ass. The matchmaking services in any game is just garbage. Even like, you know, I made the mistake of actually trying to do Counter-Strike Global Offensive like the other week, and I was actually doing it with, I think I mentioned this before, by the way. Pretty sure I did. But anyways, I played it with an old clanmate that from mine from my Counter-Strike source days, and well, I made the mistake of actually doing some ranked with him, and god damn, that fucking shit sucks. The matchmaking shit is just garbage. I hate it. Anyways, back to League of Legends. So the community sucks. The community's toxic as fuck. The matchmaking services suck. Riot just kept on like nerfing all of their characters. It just kept happening because they didn't want like one character to be, you know, so jilted as compared to everybody else. They didn't want to give, like, say, one character the advantage over some of the other ones. And I understand that, but they basically turned everybody into like straw men. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like literally like fighting rock'em sock'em robots with goddamn Nerf dolls or like styrofoam characters. It was awful. The other thing too is that when it comes to those games, especially League of Legends, is Jesus Christ, are they fucking repetitive. Say what you will, man, about like Counter-Strike or whatever else. In League of Legends, you are literally playing on the same map over and over and over and over and over again. You could say, well, it differs because you're playing with different people with different characters. Yeah, but it's still the same shit. You're still looking at the same thing. The gameplay is relatively the same. And then there's this like basic maxim that I finally have told myself and stopped lying to myself, is that no matter how good you are at any competitive game online, there's always going to be somebody that's better than you, and you are going to play against that person at some point. And it's not just the one person. There are lots of people that are better than you at the game. And I'm not trying to make it sound like, you know, you're thin-skinned because it hurts your pride to lose or something like that. It's just, you know how frustrating it is to actually play a game, and maybe you are actually really good, but then you're just consistently playing with people that are like maybe 2 levels above your skill level. Not fun. And then you do it over and over and over again. And then the shitty matchmaking is putting you with these people that are like so fucking mentally devoid. Like they had to kick out a goddamn rock to find these people. It's awful. I didn't have any fun. And eventually I just said, it was one of those games that the video game industry has this term, it's called the churn rate. It's basically like they know that their game is garbage. They know that their game is going to burn people out. Eventually people are just going to be like, fuck this bullshit, and be done playing it, right? And that's what they call the churn rate. It's basically from the time they start playing to the point where they actually stop playing because of that. And I do have to say that my churn rate took a lot longer because I did play it for about a year. Pretty much from the moment it was like, I think it's still in beta in like late 2009, and then pretty much throughout 2010. So that's the long story, the long digression into Shaco, the character, not the magic finding hat, helmet, whatever. So I think once I get up to the World Stone Keep level 2 and find the waypoint, I have a chance to go back to town. I think that's when I will take a little bit of a break. Oh, get off me, you little bastard. So as I said on my Guild Wars stream earlier, is that if any of you guys have any kind of suggestions about, you know, any particular games you guys want me to play and do a series of, just please let me know. I know I've kind of alluded on that to some degree or another just earlier, but I'm very much interested, you know, because I was sitting there thinking about playing some more like Paradox games. Or, you know, I've had a couple other ideas, like such as maybe doing something in the Total War series. But I don't know. I want to see what you guys have to say, because in my opinion, some of those games have been just so overly saturated and just been done to death that I'd hate to be just another content creator in a long line of other content creators. And some of them are so much better than I am. Now, I mentioned like Total War Shogun 2, for instance, in my Guild Wars stream, and one of my reluctances for playing that is because there are other content creators here on YouTube that have dumped like literally a couple thousand hours into the game, and they've done really exhaustive series, like with all the different factions and whatnot. And it's like, you know, you get somebody that's like kind of a pro to some extent, and then you get me. Like, who are you gonna watch? Are you gonna watch the schmo, the neophyte, or are you gonna watch the actual, you know, the guy that's dumped the 3,000 plus hours into the game and is basically a professional at that point? You know, it's kind of a no-brainer to me. And I know, I understand that I guess the argument kind of against that train of thought would be, you know, it all depends on your personality. You know, because if I make it fun or entertaining, if I've got a nice little snappy, funny personality, I can understand. You know, it'd be fun to watch. But that's just it, though. When you play one of those strategy games, it's like I'm not so sure how how snappy and fun you can actually make it. I don't know. Jesus Christ, look at these guys. They're like a million of these like little Ratman dudes. The Soul Killers. I think these are the Ratmen from, what was it, the Endurance of Hate in Act 3. You know, to continue the rant about the Total War series and some of my reluctances for playing that game, or playing that series, I may want to keep that. I don't know if I've ever touched on this before. Okay, so there, if you notice this like little red spot here, that's the way to the final chamber, but we're looking for the waypoint right now. But I've been really giving this a lot of thought, is that for those that know and play like Paradox interactive titles like Crusader Kings 2 and EU4, would you not agree that, say, something like Europa Universalis 4 is a grand strategy title? I mean, I would argue that absolutely. I would say that it's probably the superlative form of what constitutes a grand strategy title, right? But then it really got me thinking. It's a very postmodern way of thinking, by the way, is what actually constitutes a grand strategy game? I mean, really. Because I've seen just about every strategy game under the sun being labeled by one person or another as a grand strategy title. Now, granted, I will be very honest and say that a lot of the people that I've seen, say, classify like Civ 5 as a grand strategy game were just some fucking asshole on the internet, you know, that didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They didn't know shit. Because obviously, you know, Civilization 5 is a 4X strategy game and not a grand strategy game. But I've also heard or read, you know, some people considering the Total War series as a grand strategy game. I'm like, why? There's nothing grand about it. Now think about it like this. Like, if you were to take the Total War series, any Total War game... Okay, never mind. This is the way. The other way was the waypoint. So if you take the Total War game, let's say you take Total War Shogun 2, and just take out the real-time battles. Now, see, the battle system, you know, where you actually take your armies and you do battle with the opposing army, that's basically like the main schema of the Total War franchise. That's their gimmick. So, hypothetically speaking, if you were to take any Total War game and you were to take out their entire, like, war system and you replace it with something really simple like EU4s. And I'm not saying that EU4's like combat is, like, I'm not trying to, you know, say that in a pejorative fashion or anything, but I mean, comparatively speaking, you're not exactly like commanding individual troops and units and things. So, I mean, it is a lot more simple on that front. But if you were to take any Total War game and you were to take that out, what do you have left? It's a house of cards. Like, the diplomacy system sucks. There's no, like, what do you call it? There's really, like, no economic game or, like, trading or anything else. I just don't see how anybody can actually consider those games as grand strategy.
You have proven yourself to these people. They look to you as their warrior. They're good to see you.
So when I was sitting there talking about, you know, or considering playing a Total War game, that's been rolling through my mind, and that's something that actually kind of kills it for me.
The ancients have honored you, and
is that,
what do you need?
You know, when I play a strategy title, I really want it to be more than just that central conceit. And I feel like when it comes to the Total War franchise, that's all it's got. That's actually not bad, but I've got other better amulets. So you, garbage. That's actually not better than what I'm wearing. But it might be better for some of my peons. I'm gonna actually have to take a look at the, whatchamacallit? My guide. I'm pretty sure a superior short battle bow is good for something, but I'll have to double check on that. I don't know. I'm going to take a break here. It's about that time. Actually, a little bit over that time, but I will be back in a few. I need to get a refill on my Imperial apple juice. Go out for a breather and do that thing. So I will be back momentarily.